Hey everyone, this is Jesse here at Jesse Lee Strength and Fitness. Today we're going to do a whiteboard session regarding mindfulness, both in the gym and in life. Just a few kind of strategies and tactics that I think are very important that are often not talked about that I want to bring to my listeners' attention, and as well as to further embed it in who I am and how I practice. So when I say mindfulness, basically there's a lot of things that come to mind. Obviously meditation, breath, but there's a few different aspects about weightlifting that I think invite us to bring our mind and our body together as one. So when the weight is heavy, we need to be aware, present, in the room with the bar, the sensations in our hands, the sensations in our bodies, the breath. So one thing that I really love about weightlifting and all different varieties of weightlifting, whether it's swinging a kettlebell or pushing a barbell overhead, lifting something heavy off the ground, doing carries, even doing bicep curls, is we're going to get the best response from our body when our mind is in the movement. And what I want to try to just encourage everyone who does strength training is to check in with yourself prior to the set. Who is lifting the weight? Is it anxiety? Is it fear? Is it dread? Make sure it's you. Make sure you're the person lifting the weight. And if that sounds pretty far out, just think about it for a little bit and just see what you kind of come up with. Oftentimes, all of these things can be applied as well as, let's say, when we're eating a meal, making sure that you are there with the meal, with the smells, with the taste, with the textures. That way you're fully absorbing what's happening in your momentary life. Because life really is the present moment. And so weightlifting offers an invitation for us to get back into the moment, doing all of our different exercises, trying not to rush a set, trying to, if it feels heavy and it feels too heavy, take some weight off the bar. All of these things are a communication system between your mind, your body, and all your five senses so that you can have the best connection with yourself. You can feel the best during your training sessions, and you leave the session not only stronger, but also more mentally and emotionally sound. So here's a few things I wanted to discuss with you a little bit more. So the mindfulness in the gym, I just kind of went over that. Actually, we need an E here. So next time you go into your training session, take a second to check in with yourself before each and every set. Maybe even take a second to check in with yourself during the set. Who's lifting the weights? Where's the breath? How does it feel? What muscles am I feeling? Come at your training sessions with more curiosity, and you are going to make so many more gains, I promise. Okay? The next concept is being versus doing. So sometimes we do things as if it's on our checklist. We're checking off the workout. It's done. I'm taking a walk, but I'm also like checking my email. So this practice of being versus doing is switching from this kind of task-oriented, check it off mindset into more of a being with the actual thing that's happening. So if I'm going for a walk, I'm going to notice how I feel. I might notice the trees blowing in the wind, or the wind blowing through the leaves. I'm going to try, when I'm working out, bringing a more being mindset rather than a doing mindset. There are going to be times when you're doing tasks, but while you're doing tasks, make sure you're being with yourself and being present as much as possible. And this is not something that is done just all of a suddenly. It's just practice. practice. This is a practice of making sure you're bringing yourself into all of these situations. And the breath is something that I think we need generally to practice. What I notice is a lot of people are generally really shallow in their breathing. They're breathing through their upper chest and their lungs. They're upset, they're anxious. There's just a general tension that we feel. So just learning how to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, and actually taking time throughout the day to actually feel what that feels like. What the nose breath feels like coming in. Is it cool around the nose and it's warm coming out your mouth? There's many strategies to breathe. So box breathing, you go in 4, you hold 4, you out 4, in 4, hold 4, out 4. So utilizing the breath as often as possible to make sure you're really conscious of that act. And then the final thing I want to talk about is, which is kind of all throughout here, is 5 senses awareness. So a good practice for, let's say, going for a walk is to, while you're going for a walk, maybe even just taking a moment to realize the things that you're seeing. So you could even say them out loud. I see the gravel beneath my feet. I see the flecks of yellow on the tips of my shoes. I see birds flying around in the trees, just noticing some things. And maybe there is a certain sound that you're aware of. Maybe in the distance there is a construction site you can hear. Maybe there's clacking of hammers or jackhammers, or the sound of a distant bell. And then, maybe you're noticing how the wind feels on the back of your neck, or just these sensations. Maybe there's a taste of like dryness in your mouth, or you're just noticing maybe that you're thirsty. So bringing in all 5 senses is an important way to build mindfulness into where you are and kind of being where your feet are, right? So what I invite you to do is, as you approach both strength training and life, is to make sure that you're present for it. Make sure that you're there, you're aware, you've got your senses, you've got your breath, and you're trying to just be and not always be in a task-oriented mindset. So making sure, if you are task-oriented, that you're present, you're aware of what you're doing. You maybe just check in. Or if you're having mindfulness practice, just try to be. Don't do anything with it. Just be still and be calm. So those are the things I wanted to get across today. It's just a really brief little summary of some things that I am thinking about as well. I wanted to share. So I hope that helps. I hope it makes you reflect. And thanks for your time. As always, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. If this connected with you, please leave a comment.